This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Covered in Pet Hair, a boozy web show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arata, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with a German Rottweiler enthusiast. I'll tell you all about her and introduce you as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors.
Pets are part of the family. Make sure you can always afford the quality health care they need with Easy Pet Check, a nationwide pet insurance alternative. With Easy Pet Check, you'll save up to 75% on all your pet's health care at any licensed veterinarian in the U.S. Easy Pet Check accepts all dogs and cats regardless of pre-existing conditions. Visit EasyPetCheck.com. That's the letters EasyPetCheck.com. Taking care of your pet can be easy with Easy Pet Check.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arata, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with a pet parent, a pet care professional, an entrepreneur, a foodie, a German beer drinker, coffee lover, a wife to Walt, mom to Damon and Tyra, Oma to 2-month-old Travis, dog ma to Kovu and Kion, cat ma to Avalon and Tryla. She's a proud German, a current Chicagoan, Rottweiler owner and enthusiast, Judy Taylor. Welcome, Judy.
Hi, Isabel. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's so nice to finally meet you, too. I know we've been friends for a long time on Facebook, but
we have been, yes.
We've never actually had a conversation, so I'm excited to do that with you today.
About time, huh?
It sure is, absolutely. So we share a lot of interests in common. We're in a lot of groups together because we're both in the pet care industry, or I was, and you're also in the raw feeding groups that one of my previous guests, yes, his group. So you and I see each other on social media quite a bit. So before I go any further, anybody participating in our drinking game today, make sure you take a drink every time you hear this word.
The secret word is Kovu.
But be 21 and over, or whatever the minimum age is wherever you are. What's the minimum age in Germany?
Well, we start drinking with 16.
Okay, there you go. So 16 in Germany, 21 in the United States. Make sure wherever you are, you're not drinking and driving, and always please drink responsibly. What are you drinking today?
So I'm a boring drinker. Now I'm just drinking beer. So I'm drinking Beck's beer here today,
Perfect.
Which is a German beer that is from North Germany, kind of. It's strong. Yeah. So our beers are strong. So that's why I prefer German beers. The American beers I drink if I have to go somewhere still, because they're very light for me. So they're like kind of soda type of. So I'm a beer drinker. I do occasionally drink wine, but it gives me migraine. So I don't mess with it anymore. So I stick with beer. I don't get a hangover. I can drink. We grow up with beer, basically.
I believe it. So I have a favorite German beer. It's called Crystalweizen, and it's like the champagne of beers, but like for real, not like whatever it is that some American brand calls themselves the champagne of beers. But this is actually a filtered Hefeweizen, and it's delicious. And we can get it here in El Paso, but I didn't have any on hand.
Now, if you drink we say Hefeweizen, that's the way you pronounce it. If you like it, have you ever tried it with banana juice?
No, I don't even know what banana juice is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, it's hard to get here in the States, but in Germany, to refresh it in summer, the Hefeweizen, we put like a little bit of banana juice in it. It's like very refreshing. You should try it. You should go to like a Polish deli store or something and get some banana juice and try that. You're going to like it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I am kind of like an adventurous drinker. And in preparation for our interview, I went to the Total Wine app and I found a Bärenjäger,
Yeah, Bärenjäger, yeah.
honey liqueur that I've never tried before. So I'm having a German mule.
Oh, look at you.
I know.
So authentic. I love it. I love
know. So it's a honey liqueur. I've never even heard of honey liqueur. It's actually fermented honey. And for anybody who has never heard of it, it dates back to the 18th century in Germany, where the honey liquor recipe was formulated to lure bears out of their dwellings by hunters.
I'm learning something.
Yeah. And eventually the hunters started drinking it too because it was so tasty.
Wow. I did not know that.
I know. Isn't that cool? So it's a honey liqueur, so I feel like it has a million uses. I'm excited to this is my first drink I've made with it, but I'm excited to try different recipes.
Yeah. Let me know and then share the bottle of what it looks like. So maybe I'm gonna, I would like to try that too.
Oh, cool. I definitely will. It's called, again, Bärenjäger.
Bärenjäger, yes. You say it pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We speak in the throat. So, the Germans, and yeah, it's a little hard to say, but it's Bärenjäger.
Bärenjäger.
Bärenjäger, yes.
Okay. See, I added that like Latina sound to it.
I heard. Yes.
I can't help myself. I only do Romance languages because they all kind of sound the same. All right. So every time that I have a show, I start it with a game. And today I'm going to start. I wanted, like I told you before we started recording, I want to start doing one of these with a different breed enthusiast, not necessarily a breeder, just like somebody who just loves the breed and wants to talk about it. So this game is called Fun Fact Rottie Edition. Are you offended if I call them Rotties, or do you want me to call them Rottweilers?
No. Definitely. I call them Rotties all the time because, see, y'all say it a little wrong too. It's not wrong, right, but it sounds different in English, So Rottie is totally fine. What
is the right pronunciation for Rottweiler?
So Germans, we pronounce a W as a V. So you say Rottweiler. The Weiler, we say Rottweiler. Okay. It's a V. It's the W in Germany is pronounced as a V basically. So that's why we say Rottweiler. That's the correct German way. It sounds hard.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Just stick with the Rottie. That's totally fine.
All right. Fun facts. Rottie Edition. The first one. The Rottweiler ranks in the top 10 of most popular dog breeds according to the American Kennel Club. True or false?
It's actually 8. Number 8.
Look at you. She's right.
I know.
Wow, I'm impressed. All right, the second one. The Rottweiler is considered a medium breed.
Medium to large, mostly large.
You are spot on again. Amazing. Will Smith and his family own several Rottweilers.
Correct.
They do. I just learned this today.
Yeah.
Today's modern Rottweiler is thought to be a descendant of the Asian Mastiffs that were once used to breed cattle herding dogs.
Now that's a joke, right? Not Asian, no, it's Roman. They're actually from the Romans, that came to Germany in the 18th century. So no, they're not Asian. And Mastiffs, no.
No. You're right. They're attributed to the Romans who bred the Rottweiler.
Yes, correct.
Around the middle of the 1800s, as railroads were built and roads were paved, making it easier to transport herds, Rottweilers almost went extinct.
That's correct. Yes. And a lot of breeders or some that were there tried really hard to keep them, around. Yes, correct.
I'm so impressed that you know all this because you definitely are the aficionada. Yes. Rottweilers served as rescue dogs in New York after 9/11.
That is true, yeah. That's true.
They certainly did. And then last one, a Rottie by the name of Wind won the AKC Human Fund ACE Award for Therapy Dog category in 2015.
I'm not sure about the year, if that's correct. I'm not sure, but yeah, the rest is correct. Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And actually, when I was preparing for this interview, I was like, I don't see a lot of Rottweilers being used as service dogs or rescue dogs, but apparently they are, and I had no idea.
Yeah, they're great. They're great when it comes to that. Rescue, search, I mean, everything. Like, they're workhorses. That's what they are.
Yeah.
So.
So what inspired your love of Rottweilers?
So I never thought I would own a Rottweiler ever. So I used to be the biggest Doberman fan. I used to have Dobermans overseas when I, lived in Germany. I never thought I would ever have anything else than a Doberman. But I had a lab in between. I think you know this. He passed last year. But the Rottweiler, I've been around a few, but actually a friend of mine, back then she was a client. She hired me. And she had 2 Rottweilers. And these Rottweilers, one of them had like issues with trusting people and was really like kind of timid. And it took me like one visit, like I met them once and she called me 2 days later. Hey, are you feeling comfortable coming to my house? Because I need you to let the dogs out. I'm like, well, what can happen, right? So yeah, well, he didn't like me much, and you have 2. And I'm like, okay, just, we're best friends. Let's just say it that way. So it didn't take long. I sleep in the bed with them, so they inspired me more. I've been around them. I just really didn't know much about them too much. Knowing them from rescue, but then the love for these dogs grew so strong that actually that same friend actually connected me with her breeder. So we have cousins, now. So my dog is a cousin to hers. And more Rottweiler owners actually contacted me to take care of their dogs through my business because, not everybody can handle this breed, that's just the fact, but as well. But no, that's how I got to the Rottweilers. And my husband had a Rottweiler female before we met. So he was all about it, right? All about it. So it was a match. And I will not own anything else than a Rottweiler, I think, unless I'm 90 years old and physically can't handle it anymore. But other than that, I think I will never own anything else than a Rottweiler.
That's awesome. So you have a 2.5-year-old and a 9-week-old puppy. 11-week-old puppy.
Yes, I do. So I call him my king. You see that a lot on Facebook, yes. Right? Kovu he's my king. So he is my firstborn, basically, Rottweiler. He is amazing. Oh my God. It's anything you can ask in a dog. That is what you have. You have a connection with each of your dogs, but then on a different level. So what I have with Kovu, I've never experienced before. I have to say that. My friends make fun of me all the time. They're like, I'm so extra. And I am. I'm not even fighting. I am very extra with Kovu, especially. He is glued to my hip. And then I have Kion. Kion is new to the family. Kion is 11 weeks old. On Friday was 11 weeks old. He's a little rascal, still puppy. He is a spitfire. So he keeps me on my toes. He keeps Kovu on his toes. But I always said after having 2 dogs and when AJ passed that I would always have 2 dogs because just seeing how they're, fulfill each other and also how they're, like the company. And so that's what it was. So it was definitely planned after a while, after we were ready to get a second one. Yes.
So the age difference is good. 2.5 years and puppyhood, it still works really well.
Yes. So we planned that. So I always said that I will not have a puppy until Kovu was 2 years old. The reason why Rottweilers mature slow, just like most large breeds do. And I wanted him to reach a certain level of maturity in order to, I don't want 2 puppies at the same time. You heard about litter syndrome. You heard about dogs. When you have 2 puppies very close together in age, one always is in the shadow of the other. One is more outgoing, the other one, I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to make sure that that Kovu fully, develops his behavior and everything. And I want to make sure that I can give Kion also exact the same, by training, raising, so they get along. Kovu is very social. Like socializing is one of the biggest things that I need to point out in owning a Rottweiler. Early, a lot. I always say they should have met at least 100 different people by the age of 6 months. And also different dogs, at least 50 different dogs. Now, Kovu, I mean, he broke that record, like, you know. So, but it's important because Rottweilers, they're very, very loyal. They're very sensitive as well. But if you don't socialize them early enough, you could run into some issues. And that's something I don't want to do. It doesn't mean that they get along with every single dog. That's not the point. The point is that as they're young, they have to learn. And Kion right now learns from Kovu. He puts him in his place once in a while, what's acceptable and what is not in a dog world, which I cannot do as a human. I can do only so much. You know what I'm saying? So no, they get along, they play, they fight, play fight, you know. And it's going to be interesting to see how it goes once Kion gets a little bit older, because they have very different personalities, very different. But I can see that different parents. So I already see the difference. And so I have to watch out for that, because they're both males as well. So there could be, you know, some rival thing going on, maybe not. So, but I'm very, very, I observe a lot. I observe them a lot. So yeah.
So your children, your dog children, have the same age difference as my human children, 2.5 years.
Yes, Noah and Mila, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So is Kovu as jealous of Kion as Noah is of Mila?
In the beginning, you know, when we got the puppy, and again, like Kovu has a lot of experience with puppies. He's very gentle. Yeah, he pushed himself, you know, in front of the puppy. No, mom, this is my mom. This is not happening here. So, but right now, it's like when I come home, you know, he pushes, he's bigger, so he knows he can push the little one away. So he gets first tips, you know, on saying hello. Other than that, no, I mean, I make sure I level it out. Because like I said, Kovu has always been, you know, the extreme. So, but we had a lot of going on in the past 2 months here. So he kind of like got to, you know, he had to step back in other ways, you know, as you know. So, it was kind of a good preparation, I believe, for Kovu not to be overly jealous. But he is definitely a mama's boy. He loves daddy. He loves our children. But yeah, mom is the thing.
Well, yeah, you have a very special relationship, and he wants to make sure that doesn't change. Well, I have way more questions for you that we're going to address as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There's no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, radio.com, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arata, and today I'm speaking with a German who is a German expert on all things, including the German breed, the Rottweiler.
Very good.
Yes? Okay.
I like it. Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. So I want you to tell me what tips you have for us on ownership of Rottweilers. But first, I'm going to give you 1 minute on the clock, and I'm going to have you tell me all the reasons why Rottweilers are the best breed you've ever had. Ready? Go.
Very, very handsome, loyal, affectionate, softies, sensitive, strong, protective, playful, cuddle bugs, lap dogs. Oh, What else? I mean, they're everything. They're like everything. they're good. They're so good looking. It's unreal. Yeah, they're great with kids, with other animals living in the house. They get along with anything. They're easily trained, very trainable, food motivated. Most of them love water. They're great. They're great walking partners. They listen. Every dog listens kind of like to their owners. What else? Ooh, you got me here. They outsmart less intelligent people. That's what they really do. They are, no, they do. Yeah, highly intelligent and work. They love to work. They love to work.
Yeah, that's it. You went over a minute. You had awesome feedback. So that's perfect. So tell me, what is training a Rottweiler like? Because Rottweilers, like every large black dog, has a bit of a bad reputation sometimes because they're thought of as scary. Right? We see more black dogs are harder to adopt out because people think that dogs are scary. They're scary dogs. They're bigger. They've got those big yummy faces that are a little bit intimidating for somebody who doesn't know. So tell me, what is it like to train a Rottweiler? You seem to think it's quite easy and they're really smart dogs and responsive.
Okay, so I train dogs as well, and when I say quite easy, it depends on your approach, right? So the way we do this, or I do this at home, it starts on day one. And I'm not talking about no boot camp. I'm not talking about no sit, stay down, none of that. The first few weeks at our house here, when you get a puppy, we just shape behavior. So what I do, for example, I reward what I like. So let's just say Kion sits because when he comes from the outside or whatever, which he does, automatically he did. So I just shape it. I'm like, yes, good boy, without him knowing he's doing something like that. I have them wait for their food. I don't allow them to touch my cabinets in the kitchen with their paws or anything because I don't allow jumping. I just don't want that because I keep in mind they're going to be 100-some pounds, right? And jumping is just something that you do not want. But with any dog, I feel like jumping is just annoying. So I'm shaping his behavior. So every time they do something that I appreciate, I let them know. Now, when some people say, yeah, I have Rottweilers, they're so stubborn. Yes, they are. They're very, how do you say it? They're very strong-minded. They know what they want. They try to outsmart you too. And I said that earlier, they outsmart less intelligent people, and they really do. They're opportunists, right? They wait their turn. So I work with all these qualities and use them for my advantage. Now, puppies nip, puppies bite, puppies growl, puppies do whatever. I'm not a big fan I don't yell at my dogs. So that's just absolutely, because it doesn't do anything but excite them. I don't scold them really, unless absolutely necessary, which it's very rare, The puppy is fresh, new, don't know anything. You teach them, you tell them. So they're easy to train because most of them are very food motivated. They're eager to learn. They're eager. They want to work. So I can pick up a certain, like a toy or like something that Kovu knows, and he knows what we're doing. So I grab a certain thing and he knows we're going out in the field. I have this big field back here and he knows we're going to work, but the reward is a game, it's a play. And he can't wait to work. Or I have a vest I'm using for him, a weight vest that I use a few times a week. As soon as I grab this vest, he knows, this is going on. So they love to work. And every Rottweiler owner, if you think about getting a Rottweiler, you have to be aware of the fact that those are work dogs. So you have to keep them busy. You have to work their minds, not just physically, mentally. They need stimulation. And so, like you said, they're big, they're huge, they're intimidating. My mom, when I first ever got in a Rottweiler, she's like, oh my God, they are fighting dogs, right? Mm-hmm. Overseas, they're like on the list too. But Mom, it's all, she's not a big dog person to begin with, but it's all, how you work with them. Now, you can always run into one that's poorly bred or had bad experience that you try to work with in the right way and it doesn't work out. We all run into sometimes these dogs, but in general, easily trainable by shaping their behavior that they already got. They want to please, they want to just work and just use that. They're not good. One thing too, if you're a runner or something and you think, oh, I'm going to get a Rottweiler, don't do it. A Rottweiler's not made for that. They're used to pull cards, you know, they're used to herd. The face, the nose, the snout is a little shorter. So they're good for short periods of like hard work, but not long distance jogging or something like that. And heat. Most of them don't like the heat. They don't do well in the heat. They're from Rottweil. Rottweil, that's what they got the name for. I mean, they're not all from there, but it's cold. It's in the Black Forest in Germany. It's cold, you know. It's winter. It's cold there. And so my dogs there love those snow. They love being outside in winter. So they go in, out, in, out. I'm just standing at the door. Open, close, open, close. In summer, they prefer the AC. You know, they like to lay on the AC and then they go in the water and then they go right back in. So yeah, easily trainable if you train them with passion, if you train them with consistency, but if you also be gentle, firm and gentle. They need a strong leader, that is true, but they don't need physical punishment. And that is not, they're so sensitive you can actually mess the dog up. Like I read it a lot of dog Rottweiler owners may do not agree with me on that. They pin them down when they are, you know, don't behave a certain way whatsoever. But again, I don't think that's necessary. You know, they're very sensitive dogs. They look vicious and scary, and, you know, they look like very like dangerous because they're black. Like you said, the face, even to other dogs often get scared because of the black face. They cannot read the face well. That's why. But once they meet a well-balanced dog or Rottweiler, like Kovu, it's like, oh, wow, that's a nice guy, you know? Yeah. So that's basically it.
That is awesome. And I know you just recently became a grandmother. So I want to know, are you more strict with your dogs than you're going to be with your grandson, Travis? I know he's too little to tell how you're going to be with him, but I can see that you're very nurturing with him.
Yeah. I became a grandma 2 months ago, exactly to this day.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. So, and I don't know what grandmotherhood is like until it actually hit me, right?
Right.
So people say it's the greatest thing. And I'm like, okay, so I used to say in the past few years, I don't do kids. You know, I don't. I mean, my own, but they're grown, right? My kids are older. So people always say, oh, you watched kids too? No, I don't. You know, I'm not.
Yes. I don't know any pet sitter dog walker that wants to have any babysitting or child sitting. Absolutely not.
Zero. So, and again, since my kids are, older, I'm like, I don't have the patience for kids. Well, now I'm a grandma, and like they said, it is really true. One day you may experience this. They're just, I don't know. It's different than having your own kids, but it's like they feel such a big thing in your heart. So now I don't know about being more strict. So with my dogs, I'm strict to a point, but then I'm such a softie. Oh God, like way more than I should. It's also why Kovu has a personal trainer, because a lot of things I just, it's sad. It's sad. But when it's our own, you do things a little different. But and with my grandson, Travis, I'm not sure. So my daughter has a say in it. She has my personality, very outgoing, very like, she knows, she's half German. So I don't know. I think I let Travis get away with a lot of things. Maybe, but there's certain things I just value, which is, respect. It's the same with the dogs. I respect my dogs.
Right.
But I expect that too from them. And so with people, it's the same way, right? With kids, you want to respect other people. Education, important. Junk food, keep that to a limit. That's just me personally. But then again, I'm just a grandma.
Yeah, so you could actually spoil them a little bit more. And it's interesting because you've raised your own children, and now you're helping your daughter with her son because you're a very hands-on Oma. And now you're raising a puppy simultaneously to helping raise a baby. How busy are you?
It's been crazy. So, the puppy was planned, like I always said. And I thought, I really questioned this, when Travis was born, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to I cannot raise a puppy, at the same time. But to be honest, it's quite easier than I thought because Kovu was such a big help. I'm not letting Kovu raise the puppy because that's my job, but he does help with the playtime, during the day. I didn't have that with Kovu because I had an older dog, AJ, who wouldn't play with the puppy. So that's helpful. It's busy. It's crazy. It's busy. The last 2 months have been just like, oh, well, here,
And how have the dogs reacted to having Travis at home?
So Kovu, when I stayed in the hospital with my daughter for a little while, there were some complications. And he did not know what's going on. And every day I got home for a little bit. So he was already on edge. When the baby got home, we let him sniff the baby. He licked him right on, on the cheek. And ever since in the beginning, he thought it was his baby, I think, because he was just like, when the baby cried, he was like, oh my God, what do you want me to do? Now, if the baby at night, if he hears him or whatever, he just leaves the room and goes on the couch. He's like, yeah, I don't have time for that.
He's raising two babies now. He's busy.
Right. He is very gentle, very gentle. We never, ever, and I cannot stress this enough, ever leave the baby unattended, no matter how well-behaved your dog is. They can play, they can knock them over. And this is another fact for new Rottweiler owners. So if you consider getting a Rottweiler, they always say small children are not recommended. I want to say yes and no. If you are very, very committed, and if you really, really can watch your dog or your child at all times, once they're together, you have to, then they're totally fine. But they are herding dogs, so they push sometimes. Yeah. So you have to be careful. Now, the baby was here first by a few weeks, 2 weeks, I think, or what. But the puppy is not curious about the baby. It's here. The baby's here. He does, like, we let him smell him sometimes. He did lick his hand, but puppy nip real quick, right? Like little crocodiles. So you have to watch that. So I'm just, let him really quick contact, he licked, praise, big praise, good boy. So I'm thinking, once Trevor starts walking and running around, he will walk with these Rottweilers like he has, he's going to be the new Rottweiler dude on the block, I think.
Yes. Well, the puppy and Travis are going to grow up together, which is amazing.
Yes.
And they're really going to get along great. Your 2.5-year-old Kovu is young enough that I think he'll do well, obviously. And they have a great Oma and Dogma to guide them all through the process.
And he grew up with kids when he was born. Kovu, so my breeder, they had 2 little kids. They handled him every day, all day. And we go there a lot. We became good friends. So we go a lot to visit his mom, Kovu's mom, and his sister. Aww. And the kids, he is very protective of those kids because he knows them from day one. So no, he's very good with children. Again, rambunctious they can get. They are strong dogs. Don't you ever, ever, ever leave them unattended. And the same with Travis. I will teach Travis how to be respectful to a dog. There's no pulling, there's no crawling, there's no none of that. Mm-hmm. That's just me. And I don't care what his mom says.
No, of course.
Not happening. You want to be sure, that nothing happens.
Absolutely.
So,
with kids and dogs, the hardest thing that you can manage, especially for me, that was one of the hardest things when Noah started crawling. I had a dog that was reactive and very under socialized, and we had to keep them completely separated, and it was hard. So definitely great advice to never leave them unattended because you can't trust the child and you can't trust the dog because it's just kind of like an accident waiting to happen. So
correct.
What advice would you have? And this is my last question because we have to wrap it up. But what advice would you have for a family that's looking to adopt a Rottweiler? Are there breeders that you recommend, rescues that you recommend?
So if you can, like you already said, you can go over a reputable breeder, which that's what I do. If you go over a breeder, make sure that this breeder, so do your homework. Don't say, oh, I want a Rottweiler and I want it like tomorrow or next week, right? It requires work to find a reputable breeder that has his dogs or her dogs health certified by the OFA, it's the Orthopedic, Foundation of Animals. That means mom and dad are tested for hip dysplasia, ears, cataracts, all that stuff, and they are actually registered with the AKC on that, with the OFA on that. JLPP is one thing that I really have to say real quick. It's a juvenile paralysis disease that only Rottweilers and Black Russian Terriers can have. It shows once the puppy is about 3 months, they have breathing issues, then it goes over into their limbs, stuff like that. So if a breeder does not test their dogs for JLPP, run. Okay, really run. Make sure the breeder has a contract. Make sure the breeder takes the dog back. If something unforeseen happened, make sure you get to meet the parents. Stuff like that. Red flags are always like no health testing, no pedigree of the mom or dad, or, sometimes you have two breeders like I had with Kovu, the dad's breeder and the mom. So you make sure they have all that. They make sure they let you meet the parents and they have lifelong support. My breeders, they're grandma and grandpas, like they have a Facebook page, and they know all their grandkids, all of them. They only have like maybe 2 litters a year or something. But they know them all. So that's one important thing. If you go over rescue, now you most likely find rarely puppies. It's always puppies. It's always a little harder. What you won't know is with the rescue, which shouldn't be a downer if you experience, is you don't know the history that much. That's always the thing with rescues. And does it matter? To me, it does, but then others don't care, So if you adopt a Rottweiler, make sure it's a good fit for the family. Some rescues, great rescues, they do their homework. They test their dogs. They say, no small kids, no other animals, stuff like that. Then they are rescues. They would just want to get the dogs out of the door. I would be careful with that. So just look into what fits. And if you get a Rottweiler, make sure you're not working all day and you are not at home all day. A Rottweiler needs to be around the people, which means they get lonely fast. So if you work 10 hours a day, don't get a Rottweiler. If you have a great pet sitter, dog walker, or somebody else living in the house with you, that's great. But they want to be around you. They don't want to be separated. They're not no dogs that should be in a crate for 8 hours or stuff. They are not that type of dog. If you need a dog, if you want a dog, just to have a dog, get a bulldog or get something lazy, something like that.
That's true. If you want a couch potato, a Rottweiler's not where it's at.
Not at all. No. And they are couch potatoes if they have worked. They get lonely, destructive, and the behavior, is not going to be funny if you leave them alone a long time. You should not. So look, rescue, we have, I don't know, like there's great rescues, Rottweiler specific rescues. Yes. Out here we have recycled rots, and breeders, go on those Facebook pages. Like for the Rottweiler breeders, we have great Rottweilers and friends, crazy Rottweiler, crazy Rottweiler mom, or our page is dating site for Rottweilers, which is not really about dating. It's just fun, right? We don't allow breeding or any other. We have actually links, or contact me. We have links to reputable breeders where they're certified. We know that they're tested, they're registered with the, AKC, OFA, and stuff like that. Do your homework. Just don't buy a Rottweiler and know nothing about the history of the parents or the breeder, or from a backyard breeder, puppy mills. I'm totally that gets my blood boiling. So yes. And there are good reputable breeders, but you have to do your homework.
Absolutely. Like you said, finding the right dog is not something that you start today and end tomorrow. It's a maybe month-long process, and even longer if depending on when the litter is due to arrive and all that stuff. So there are multiple Rottweiler specific rescues all over the country. There was a search engine that I found online that even had other countries listed but then they had a map with how many Rottweilers were available in each state and country. So do your homework. They're out there. Judy, how can our listeners and viewers get in touch with you for your business in Chicago and also for your love of Rottweilers?
So personally, I have Kovu and Kion. They have their own Instagram, and Facebook page. So it's Kovu and Kion the Rottweilers. You can find us there. My business self is Bossy Pawz, Pawz with a Z. So you can find us on Facebook. You can find us online, on Google, bossypawz.com, or on Instagram. Or just look me up on Facebook and shoot me a message, Judy Taylor. You'll see my 2 Rottweilers as a profile picture right there. If you have any questions, and we are in the Rottweiler community, I have to say, I learned that a lot in the last almost 3 years. They are so helpful. Everybody wants to help you. There's always some people that know everything and they think they're like, I'm not no expert. No, I'm not. I'm just passionate about it, and I would love for the breed to help people be happy with their dogs, with their Rottweilers. And we have so many great people there that help all over the country to find what you're looking for, or just if you want to know more about the breed, just let us know. I mean, we're always here. We want to make sure that the breed is well understood and that this bad reputation that they used to have, it's just, just throw it out the door. We can show you what it's really like.
That is awesome. I've so enjoyed talking to you about your passion for Rottweilers. Thank you so much, Judy, for being on the show. Let's propose a toast to you. How do we say like cheers in German?
Prost. No, P-R-O-S-T.
Prost.
Prost. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
prost.
Yep.
To you and to your family, and give that little Travis some love from me.
I will, and you say hi to your beautiful kids too. I love following them.
Thank you so much.
It was nice talking to you, Isabel, finally.
Wait, before I wrap up, I need to propose a toast to my executive producer, Mark Winter, who makes this show possible.
Absolutely.
And to our listeners on Pet Life Radio and to our viewers on YouTube, here's to a life covered in pet hair, because there's no better way to live. Cheers. Prost.
Cheers. Prost.
To learn more about Covered in Pet Hair, please visit coveredinpethair.com or petliferadio.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.